Hi, I'm Brian. I live out here in beautiful Oklahoma, and I believe everything on mainstream news. You should too.
What could possibly go wrong?
What a friend we have in corporate media. They will never lie to me. I'll always believe Jim Acosta, even before I take my morning pee.
Hey guys, study after study shows that if you want strong bones and muscles, healthy hair, skin, teeth, and nails, you need the 5 types of collagen in your diet. I get mine from BioTrust. I've got a link in the description with a massive discount, and it'll tell you all about it.
And you got this coming out from NBC News. This is always interesting to me when I see news articles like this, because people take this as the gospel, like, oh, whoever wrote this article, this is exactly what happened. When do we ever dine at the table of mainstream media and digest propaganda like this? When do you ever, isn't it good to just ask, I don't know, just a couple of cursory questions when you're looking at a headline like this? Orange County Deputy District Attorney Kelly Earnby dies from complications of that right there at the age of 46.
An Orange County prosecutor dies from COVID complications. Tonight, the local GOP says she was an enthusiastic up-and-comer. Kelly Earnby, she was an outspoken GOP activist, a deputy district attorney in Orange County, and a very outspoken person against vaccine mandates.
Okay, so that's convenient. We have someone who's outspoken against VAXX mandates, and that's a good thing to be outspoken against, because basically you're saying, hey, don't force anybody to do anything that they don't want to do. If they don't want to put something in their body, they have the freedom to be able to do that. If you don't, you don't have freedom. Good thing. But now they're capitalizing on, oh, she was an anti-VAXXer, huh? She was against the VAXX mandates, huh? And now she's fallen prey to the convids 1984 by George Orwell, huh?
Well, she died from COVID complications. It happened over the weekend.
Oh, we're just going to believe you because you said it. Oh, that's what she did. Really, that's what she died of. For sure. For sure. We can hearken back to what Dr. Ezike said from the Illinois State Health Department. If they died from a clear alternate cause, even if they were declared, you only got 2 weeks to live, but they tested positive for the convids 1984 by George Orwell, well, it's going to count as that kind of case. Now we can say they died from this. Bullet wound, no problem. That's a convict case. Car accident, fell from a helicopter. That's okay. Yeah, got his hand chopped off at the sawmill and bled to death. Oh, test him. Is he positive? There's a convict case. There was that case in there's 2 separate cases. One case was a murder-suicide where the guy murdered his girlfriend and then turned the gun on himself. They tested them. They tested positive for you know what, and then they counted it as a you know what case. And then there was another case in that same county, and the coroner said, man, I don't know what's going on here, where they counted these 2 people, man and woman, as dead. They died of the you know what, and the coroner found out that these people, not only did they not have you know what, they weren't dead. They were alive, but they counted as a death, a you know what death. We're going to talk about another case that's similar to this, where a guy was hailed as being in the conservative realm, rubbing elbows with all the important people, had a famous or a pretty popular podcast. He was an anti-VAXXer, and now all of a sudden the news claims, the Daily Beast, the Sun, the Daily Mail, CNN, NBC, MSLSD, they're all claiming that he died of you know what. How do you know they died of that in the first place? You just got to be, oh, I'm a believer. Couldn't leave her if I tried. Oh, are you that much of a believer in mainstream media? You just believe, oh, mainstream media says they died of that, so it must be true.
NBC4's Vicky Vargas spoke with those who knew her.
We're ready to kick off today.
To Orange County Republicans, Kelly Earnby was called an incredible patriot, a leader. This was her first run as a political neophyte hoping to win the 74th California Assembly seat. She lost the race but won a spot on the GOP Central Committee.
Kelly as a person was truly, I thought, a breath of fresh air for somebody who's interested in politics.
This video from her campaign Facebook page was taken at a summertime rally. She went on the record then in favor of the governor's recall and against vaccine mandates. 1 month ago, Supervisor Wagner says Ernby asked him to join her at a weekend rally outside Irvine City Hall. According to the Cal State Fullerton Daily Titan, the event was organized by a conservative college group called Turning Point. About 40 people showed up. The 46-year-old woman spoke out against government-mandated vaccines. Supervisor Wagner says he has been vaccinated, but he doesn't know if Ernby did the same. He does know her politics.
I never heard her say, don't get the vaccine. Everything I heard from her was consistent with what I was saying, is make an informed decision, but as a citizen in this country, the decision should be yours, not mandated.
The most recent...
Totally agree with that. But people will look at you like you're a frickin' heretic if you just say, hey, I'm not against your VAXX's, but I am against you trying to cram that stuff down our throats. They look at you like you are public enemy number one.
Post on her Facebook page was on Christmas Day. Most of her writings dealt with government, politics, and veterans. Her boss, Orange County District Attorney Todd Spitzer, tweeted his office is heartbroken by her sudden and unexpected passing. Ernby prosecuted environmental and consumer crimes.
It was very sad. I've known her for several years.
Kelly Ernby died of complications due to COVID-19. But
they just use that. It's a statement. For these people, it's a statement of fact. Don't question it. Take that check to the bank. It's going to be good. And nobody goes, oh, everybody just takes that as, oh, the news said it. That's got to be the right thing. That's got to be exactly what happened. I just sit there and go, I wonder what she really died of. You know, she's female. She's 46, so she's very young. I wonder what actually happened. Was she administered run death is near? How many days was she on it if she was? Did they put her on a ventilator? What actually happened to her? Was there a clear alternate cause and they just put her down as the convict case? You know they do that.
Of the definition of people dying of COVID. So the case definition is very simplistic. It means at the time of death, it was a COVID positive diagnosis. So that means that if you were in hospice and had already been given, a few weeks to live, and then you also were found to have COVID, that would be counted as a COVID death. It means that even if you died of a clear alternate cause, but you had COVID at the same time, it's still listed as a COVID death. So everyone who's listed as a COVID death doesn't mean that was the cause of the death, but they had COVID at the time of death. I hope that's helpful.
Wagner says she was home when it happened.
Was just out gardening and had a blood clot of some sort that ultimately took her life.
That's strange. It almost sounds like she did bow down at the altar Jabbo. I wonder if Kelly Ernby actually bowed down at the altar Jabbo, because that is indicative of somebody who actually does that. It makes you wonder.
But it wasn't in the hospital suffering from COVID.
The head of the local GOP says she was a woman with a fighting spirit, someone who cared about people.
So there's that. And then we have Doug Kuzma, and we're going to listen to Doug Kuzma right here. He's basically saying, hey, I'm under the weather. He suffered, for a long time with bronchitis, chronic bronchitis. You can clearly see that the man is not in good physical health. He already looks like he's one donut or a Big Mac away from a heart attack. Listen to what he says.
Hey, everybody, Doug here. As everybody knows, I'm pretty much under the weather right now. After my return from Dallas, I got sick. I had a medical, tele-thing with my doctor. We thought it was my bronchitis, but most of the same things you treat bronchitis for, you treat COVID for. My bronchitis, I've only remembered once or twice that I ever, had a fever with it, and that'd be one day. I've had a fever for 5 straight days.
So he says he's had a fever for 5 straight days. He's not feeling good. He definitely looks like he has some comorbidities going on there. He's got, one foot in the grave and the other on a banana peel, by others' estimations. But it says Doug Kuzma died at 61. Anti-VAXX podcaster passes away after this right here. How do you know? Do we believe it because the Sun says it? Do we believe it because the Daily News wrote about it? Do we believe it because the Daily Beast said it was so? I just don't. Why can't we ask questions? Hey, is this true? What? Sacrilege. You're actually suggesting that what we wrote in our publication might not be true? Hey, I'm just asking questions. How do you know? What was it that determined he actually has you know what? An anti-VAXX podcaster has died after he caught you know what at a conspiracy conference. Doug Kuzma, 61, died on January 3rd after he was hospitalized for 10 days after this right here. Really? Really? And then they go, the podcaster attended Reawaken America in Dallas on the weekend of December 11th. Kuzma posted images from the conference that showed large crowds. One picture was captioned, "Podcaster room overrun with people, chaos." He later reported feeling ill, but claimed that it was just his chronic bronchitis. Then on December 15th, he said that he had a fever and had to call a doctor. Someone commented that he should have a you-know-what test, but Kuzma responded, "No way." He added, "I'll die at the house before I go to the hospital." Now, people are mocking this guy. This guy's dead. It's not funny. However, after suffering from a fever for 5 days, Kuzma admitted that he likely contracted the you-know-what. Really? I wonder if he really said that. Where does he admit that? Did he put it in writing? Do we see it on a video? Did somebody record a phone call? Where did Kuzma actually say that? He was found unconscious at his home on Christmas Eve and rushed to the hospital. Vice reported. Oh, Vice. The oasis of truth. Isn't Vice owned by NBC Universal? He was then placed on a... Oh, really? Oh, now we're getting a clearer picture about what's going on with Kuzma. The final message that Kuzma sent was reportedly a photo of himself with a refill of this thing that you can't talk about and I can't talk about, but Jim Acosta can talk about it in CNN, and CIA asset Anderson Pupa. And they can mock it for being horse medication. Why are you taking that horse medication over there? You must be some toothless wonder from over there in Oklahoma. The outlet said, referencing a fellow podcast network member, the drug has not been approved. Kuzma was best known for his broadcasting on the Frog News podcast, which stands for Fully Rely on God. He hosted shows with his friends that were renowned for pushing conspiracy. Another conspiracy theorist died who didn't bow down at the altar of Jabbo. What if he did? And we don't know about it. What if he was secretly scared and openly and hypocritically saying, no, don't get the VAXX? What if that's truly the case? We don't know. We don't know. We don't know. We don't know. Just because you read it in an article in The Sun and the Daily Beast and CNN and Fox News doesn't make it true. That's why we go over these articles asking tons of questions. Kuzma covered topics such as QAnon and COVID denial, as well as discussing election fraud. He showed support for QAnon with posters seen in the background of his studio that had well-known phrases attached to the group. So we got Vice News over here going, anti-VAXX podcaster who got the convids, at a conspiracy conference has died. And they're like, irony of ironies. First of all, he denies and won't get the VAXX. Second of all, he hangs out with all his other conspiracy nut job buddies. And then he come to find out that he's got the very thing that he denies existed and won't get treatment for, and now he's gone. How about you? You going to make the same mistake as Doug Kuzma? Better not. Better bow down. This is all just manipulation, man. We don't know any of what they're saying is the truth. None of this. The conspiracy-laden event, I agree with that. This Reawaken America thing it's such a scam for all these freaking scam artists. Pushing Donald J. Trump, Dr. Operation Warp Speed and father of the VAXX. Talking about how they're against it, but they're really for it. We're just basically against the implementation and the mandate aspect of it. Conspiracy-laden event organized by Tulsa businessman Clay Clark was headlined by the likes of disgraced former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn, conspiracy theorist Alex Jones, and former President Donald J. Trump's son, Eric. So they're making all this stuff just look as bad as possible so that they can scare people into making a decision. Do you love Big Pharma? It's kind of like saying, do you love Jesus? What a friend we have in Big Pharma. All our hopes and dreams are here. So bow down at the altar of Pharma and release to them all your cares. Won't you come up and make a decision for Big Pharma? Come on. Don't let what happened to Doug happen to you. Don't let what happened to Kelly Earnby happen to you. Come on down, genuflect, bow, pay your homage to the big farm guy. Everything will be all right. Everything's going to be all right. Everything's going to be all right. Oh, yeah, everything's going to be all right. God.
While we have time and it still retains some of its perceived value, maybe it'd be a good idea to convert your worthless fiat into valuable, storable food. Don't be the one who waits till the food riots start happening. You don't want to be fighting panicking people in the store over that last jar of peanut butter. At Prepare with High Impact Flicks, you can get up to 3 air and watertight gasket-sealed ammo cans, each filled with a 4-week emergency supply. 7 food varieties, 2,000 calories a day, 284 servings, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and each meal comes in a resealable, heavy-duty 4-layered pouch. And it's got a 25-year shelf life. Every order of a 4-week supply gets you $100 off plus free shipping. Here's how simple it is to make. I'm going to cook up some Granny's home-style potato soup. People are going to think I'm a culinary hero. You open the pouch, boil 4.5 cups of water, stir the contents, simmer on low heat for 15 to 20 minutes, take it off the heat, then let it set for 2 to 3 minutes before you serve it up.
Man, this stuff's so good. People are going to think Granny stopped by and filled your kitchen with a whole bunch of love. Well, if Granny does stop by, she's going to fill your behind with a whole bunch of buckshot if you keep talking with your mouth full. Wipe your dang beard off. It's embarrassing.
So maybe convert some of your worthless fiat into valuable food while you still can. Order now and get $100 off of up to 3 4-week emergency food supplies at preparewithhighimpactflix.com. The link is in the description.